YouTube channel near you.
Hello, everybody. Oops. How are we doing this evening? New show, new time. We are Bigfoot Body Talk. We are not only going to be talking Bigfoot tonight, but Henry, hello. How you doing, brother? Sorry, get a little excited here. Heather, oh my God, so happy to see you tonight. Heather, thanks for joining. Holly's supposed to be joining us. We'll see if she makes it or not. But so, new topic. We're expanding things a little bit. Everybody knows about the Bigfoot history. A few people know I do personal training, and they also work out a little bit. I've been doing this since 1984 as far as working out. Daily Dose, there's Mel. Welcome. Miss ya. I think Holly's AOL too. So we're going to run it solo tonight, and then the three of us will be hooking up unless Holly joins us later, probably next week. And we're going to be talking about a variety of topics. Tonight, we'll kind of let people slide in. Oh, Uchia must be Jack. Jack is tuning in. Now the pressure's on. So Jack, Mel, and Holly are AOL, so it's only me solo. Yes, working out. We will be talking about that tonight. However, GLP-1s, are they worth it? There's big hype around it. Ozempic face, all the celebrities are on it, all the good crap. And we have a sidekick with us tonight. Everybody say hello to the bear. Jack's in the chat. This could be really interesting. My mythical animal. Well, of course, where's he at? He's over here. Jiffy. Everybody knows Jiffy except Jack. Jack's new, so welcome to the experience, Jack. Like I said, Mel and Holly were supposed to be here, but we'll get it figured out because GLP-1s are the topic, the craze. It's funny because they've been around for a while, longer than I had anticipated. I actually heard about it on a website that called More Plates, More Dates. They were wondering why more bodybuilders weren't looking toward these as, yes. Jack, it is Bigfoot. That's what this is. It's a stuffed Bigfoot. Roger Blair, how we doing? Always live on Facebook? Oh, you're right. Looks like there's a couple errors up here. Yeah, YouTube's the same. So, and Jack, you're going to find out I do interactive chat a lot. So if we get to talk about GLP-1s, it might just be a conversation. We do tend to do that on this channel. We get distracted easily by shiny things, big hairy monkeys. No. But anyway, back to topic. GLP-1s, Ozempic was the original. More Plates, More Dates was talking about it, trying to make things easier on bodybuilders. Talking about how it would make it dieting easier, cutting calories easier. So the Ozempic and Wegovy are one and the same. They're called semaglutide, which are GLP-1 agonists. What is that? Here we go. Semaglutide. What's the use? Weight loss and type 2 diabetes. How does it work? Increases insulin secretion. Common side effects. These are the, traditional ones, not the ones that are really making people, how should we say, these are the ones they tell you about right away. The more nasty side effects are the ones that they hide at the end of the ad, which is nausea and vomiting. Long-term effects. This is the ones that gets people. So, bone density loss. These are all things to be aware of. They don't happen in everybody. See already, Henry, down the road side effects. We're looking at them right here. Bone density loss, 4% in 12 months. Most of this comes from just the fact that people get stupid when they do these. Is it really worth it? Do you think it's good? We're going to talk about it. That's the whole topic tonight. So we're going to get into Ozempic first, or semaglutide, because there are actually 3 different ones now. This was the first one. This is the nastiest one as far as side effects. Each generation, it's kind of like cars. Each generation gets a little better. That's why you never get the, original model. Unless it's the 67 Camaro, then you're a millionaire. But in this case, no. Because you're also looking at up to a 40% loss of muscle. And the reason for that, again, is because people make stupid choices. So, and there are cases of 20-year-olds with osteoporosis from it. Yeah, there are some wicked side effects. So it is something that we need to pay attention to. This isn't the easy fix at all. Each generation, the side effects do get less. They do get less severe, like with the Ozempic. The side effects with muscle loss are really harsh. Trizipatide, which we'll get into in a little bit, are a little less. Semaglutide basically just works on insulin secretion as far as crushing your appetite, making the digestive tract slow down so you feel fuller longer, so you eat less. The problem with eating less is the fact that people eat donuts and Oreos, or in my case, Little Debbie, instead of eating the protein and carbs. You should be taking some vitamin supplements if you get on these. Normally, these are prescribed originally for type 2 diabetes. One of the things that they noticed was the constant, the fact that because it does control appetite, the weight loss. So that's why, as weird as it is, the exact same compound, uh, Ozempic, which is semaglutide, and Wegovy, which is semaglutide, they're exactly the same thing. Ozempic is geared toward type 2 diabetes. Wegovy is geared toward weight loss. Exact same compounds. I don't know exactly why one is geared more toward the other when they're exactly the same. So it kind of doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But that's how it is. Trizipatide. Let's go with this one first. How that works. This one works a little better because this one actually works better for weight loss. The fact that it helps, where semaglutide is just works on one antagonist in the body. The Manjaro, and what's the other one? Well, I forget the other one. Anyway, trizipatide is the same regardless which one. It's another case where Manjaro is type 2 diabetes, so the insurance will cover it if you have type 2 diabetes, depending on your insurance. And the other one is prescribed for weight loss. Exact same thing, where semaglutide worked on your appetite and food intake. Trizipatide does the weight loss, lipolysis, so it helps you burn fat, a little better. So if you're eating right, you have a better chance as far as zero bound. Set bound. There you go. Thank you. Mel, you're the best. Yeah, they do. There are cases where people have, as daily doses point out, there's paralysis, stomach issues, to gastroparalysis, and that does happen. My mom knows someone that did happen to. Luckily, theirs came back. A lot of these side effects, not all of them, are dose dependent. Mel's going to be the doctor of this group, but a lot of them are dose dependent. And a lot of times what they don't tell you is when they prescribe these medications, they'll start you out on the lowest, and then next thing you know, they up the dose without telling you. Semaglutide's a little different because a lot of the times the doctors will, depending on the pen you get and the prescription, you kind of control your own dose. They'll tell you, to start at like 2.4, and then maybe they go to, there's even down to 0.25, and anywhere in between up to, semaglutide, I believe, is 10, and trizipatide is anywhere from 2.5 to 15. So those are the low end and the high end. With the trizipatide, actually, this is the one I'm going to be able to talk to the most because I have started this one. I'm 3 weeks into it. I've been very fortunate in the fact that I haven't had any side effects yet. I take that back, and they did warn you. A lot of these will cause fatigue too because you're taking in less food. So the fact that you are taking in less food, all of a sudden, you cut your food in half or more, and all of a sudden it will knock you on your, in this case, my old man, skinny butt cheeks, like Mike Tyson, where the dose kicks in about 12 hours. So about 12 hours from your injection is when you start to feel your crushed appetite, any side effects that are going to happen, nausea, uh, vomiting's another one. As we said, put the right one back up. Yeah, so your crushed appetite, you'll feel that within 12 hours. All of a sudden, you're not hungry. Nauseousness, you could feel, all these things will kick in about 12 hours. Daily dose, my dad has experienced heart issues and eyesight issues having with being on Ozempic for over 3 years now. He is diabetic, however, and they have traced issues back to Ozempic. Yep, that's why you never get on the first gen. So when we pull up the trizipatide, we can see on here that it is actually cardio sparing. So cardio protect, trizipatide, the second generation. There's actually 3 generations coming. 2 of them are out now. The retatrutide is finishing up the human trials, and that's the one coming out. That's the one I really want to get on. That's the one the bodybuilders are getting on now, because not only is it cardioprotective, but it also secretes another gluconic, another enzyme that is muscle sparing. So you get all the benefits of these two, plus the added benefit of muscle sparing. So it is less likely to, see here, interfere with your cardio. Daily dose of lack of appetite he has experienced, however, he finds it hard to eat because he can't stand eating food. Yeah, that's, depending how chunky he is, this is where these come into play, because when people do these, especially when they're being prescribed for weight loss, it's kind of the point, but you got it's you're weighing checks and balances. So it's the point of eating. You have to learn to eat for fuel. So you might not enjoy it as much, but the point is trying to get his weight down, and then you can start, backing down the dose. Dependent, everything, like, again, it's dose dependent. So you might want to check with him to find out, Joey, how you doing? What dose he's at, because as my doctor told me, they will automatically up the dose every month. They give you with Manjaro, I get the pen, so it's just you know punch and run. But each month, if you don't talk to them, like right now, I'm at 2.5, perfectly fine. I don't have nausea. I don't have vomiting. I did get the fatigue, so I time my dose on Saturday so that way I can sleep most of Sunday and not have to worry too much. And I do both weeks it has happened, and that's at 2.5. As of right now, I don't have an appetite. I'm down over 13 pounds in 2 weeks. So I don't really feel a need to go up, even though they say the therapeutic dose, efficacious dose is 5 milligrams. I'm going to hang around at the 2.5 as long as I can. So then that way you've got someplace to go. Hi, Brax. How you doing? Daily dose. Yeah, he did have them back down the dose a couple of years ago. How the damage was already done. Yeah, he just got a pacemaker as a result. That's why when they started talking Ozempic, any of those, even supplements, I don't jump on. I hate to say that because I used to. I used to jump on the first round of everything that would come out. Now it's like I wait until they update the formulas of a lot of stuff because, as Mel pointed out, Daily Dose pointed out the fact that there weren't very many long-term studies when these things were approved. Not that our FDA would ever push things through without adequate testing. So just the fact they can make money on it is why they're on there. Which is why right now, if you can get your hands on Retatrutide, that's the way to go, because as soon as that gets patented, prices on that are going to go sky high. Um, Side effect wise, it varies so much because you can watch so many videos on horror stories, as Daily Dose is pointing out with her dad. This is not an ideal result, and people that experience, there's been, how do we say it, unaliving. They're no longer with us from taking Ozempic for cardiac issues, the paralysis, malnutrition. I had a good friend that I warned her when she got on the Ozempic to watch her nutrition intake, but didn't really hang with what Brian had to say and had baklava instead of cottage cheese or something like that. So, she wound up in the hospital, malnutrition. Daily dose, the only studies done are for people with diabetes, which it's fine, interesting. Yeah, basically because of the side effect of the weight loss is why they, put it out there. So it's kind of funny that a side effect of the drug is now one of the main reasons to prescribe the drug. It's kind of like Melanotan. Garden Girl on MJ for 3 years. T2D down 120 pounds. Congratulations, gaining muscle. Total game changer when done right. High protein, low carb. A1C now 4.8. Just stay in tune with your body, go slow and ongoing. That's awesome. Congratulations on that. See, and when used right, this is the outcome, that I'm hoping for. Because the only thing I really hate about these, may as well call them what they are, drugs. Yeah, daily dose, considering they are pushing it for weight loss now more than ever. Yeah, everybody wants that magic pill, and magic pills make money. Let's face it. I mean, I am just as guilty, if not more guilty, than a lot of people, especially in our gym. You go back to when supplements were first kind of making the scene, I was trying everything. You name it, I would take it. I really didn't care what it, at the time, didn't care what it was going to do down the road. These HGH complex things that were over the counter. You know, I don't even want to think about the thousands of dollars I spent on complete absolute garbage. Daily dose, yes, isn't it? As a tool is amazing. And that's the thing. And when people take these, though, there is a company now, and I think they're doing these the right way, because the problem with this is a lot of people won't be able to come off it. And the reason for that is all of a sudden they'll start gaining weight again. Why do they start gaining weight? Because they haven't dealt with this yet. This is the reason you gain weight, besides doing this. So you have to deal with the brain as to why you're shoveling the food in your mouth. Is it taste? Is it like boredom, depression, anxiety, comfort? Just can't put the spoon down. The drugs don't deal with that. And so those who get off it and haven't dealt with those issues will gain weight back. So, and that's what they're banking on. They're banking on a lot of people just wanting the easy way out. And in a lot of the YouTube videos, I've seen people, Garden Girl transplant was a great example of it. That lose 100 pounds, 120 pounds, 60 pounds. I mean, 30 pounds is amazing, depending on how it is. Garden Girl transplant, lifestyle, mental changes are key. Absolutely. Now, if you put these in combination, then yeah, you've got a great chance. As long as logging is so important, because not only does dosing dependent, but where you inject is important too. They tell you to rotate the injections. And there's quite a few studies I've seen where people, depending where they inject it, are how bad the side effects are and how well it feels overall. There's 3 places they tell you to inject. And let's, what, I better put something up here, because there's something very important that I need to put up, just because of the world we live in. Let's see here. Because I need to reiterate the fact I am not a frickin' doctor. I'm not even a licensed nutritionist. I'm just some dope who chases imaginary monkeys, has an incredible Hulk room behind him, a cute little dog, my best friend. It seems how he's in the chat, a wonderful boss. Go to Battle Fitness. Hey, look, got the logo. That's where we do make life changes. Mel can attest to that. We help people make lifestyle changes there. But which is important when you're on these drugs? You got to learn to put the fork down. Some people don't have that willpower, or some cases like me. The problem is I take certain medications that, and I'll name them, amitriptyline and Xanax, which will make you eat. All of a sudden you're 12 o'clock at night. Next thing you know, you're eating and you don't feel full until you're literally got pumpkin pie or whatever you're eating, ice cream, cookies and cream, whatever, coming out your ears. Then all of a sudden you realize you're full. Too late. You just put on 2 pounds and need to get out your fat genes again. All right, Henry, have a good night. Thanks for stopping in. So those medications can cause side effects, but what I noticed, luckily, which is part of the control problem I have, is the trizipatide does control that appetite. It does make it so it's like, I'll look in the fridge and I'm not hungry. Now, the flip side of that is as well is the fact that thirst, it will make you not thirsty. So dehydration is a very big factor. I've caught myself a couple times. I put in yesterday, I did a 24-hour fast. I only planned on 16, but it turned into a 24. And did not drink as much either. That Garden Girl transplant, I now eat absolutely no processed foods, all fresh, use the medication to help make all the life changes. Yeah, and that's, to me, that's what they're supposed to be used for, is to help you reach that point where you've crossed the midpoint now and the finish line. Now you need to learn how to maintain that pace. And that's what these should be made for. It should be a temporary tool to eventually come off and then maintain. Because obviously, the longer you're on it, the longer the chances you are to have long-term side effects. So the shorter the exposure, it's just like anything. You can overdo anything. Shorter the exposure, the better chance you have not to have long-term effects with these. So, and they're coming out with better ones. Like I said, Retatrutide is coming out. Once that gets patented, I cannot wait. You can get it in peptide form now. That's the other amazing thing to me, is the fact that how easy it is to get peptides now. Do your research, because peptides are not regulated. So this is where things can get kind of sketchy, is the fact that, yes, you can order them. Yes, you can possess them. Technically, they're not supposed to use for human consumption, which is why maybe I have a rat or two laying around the house that, in case anybody knocks on my door, you experiment with. That's the only thing you're supposed to use them on. But if you purchase them, you got to do it from a reputable source, because there's a lot of fake crap out there. But I can't believe the way I'm seeing advertisements come out now on like YouTube, this platform right here, for something that is technically not for human use. So be careful if you go that route. Try to go the prescription route. They're not cheap. As of right now, I don't think they're generics out there. I think that's why they're so expensive still, because luckily with, if you can call it lucky, having type 2 diabetes, my insurance covered the Manjaro. So I didn't have to pay very much for that at all. But, otherwise you're looking at, I think it was $250 a shot. So about $2,000 a month. So it's weight loss, but everything's got its price. And money is a big price on these. They're not cheap. Garden Girl transplant. Most side effects can be controlled by looking at what you're eating. For me, not getting enough water increases my nausea. Any high fat, fried or greasy food cause huge GI problems. Yeah. And that's the other one of the side effects, is severe gallbladder problems. And oh, look, we got a guest, folks. I see somebody popping in.
Hey, I made it.
Welcome. Bail me out.
So what are we talking about now? I think I missed the last couple minutes.
Actually, the only thing I was talking about was the fact that I was amazed at how peptides have become so readily available and advertised for something that's not supposed to be for human consumption on YouTube and stuff. So if they were going to try to get generic peptides to do the same thing, that better watch what you're getting, because you don't know if the getting is real.
It's true. And companies like Life RX, I think, is the most recent one that they're really pushing, at least on Instagram, that I've seen. They use it's a semi-glutide compound. So a lot of the time it has sodium acetate in it. And that is not what you want. That is not what you want at all. it's definitely not FDA approved. And it can have its own set of repercussions. And a lot of the times, I mean, it's really not going to do anything for you other than cause massive side effects, but it also has this type of placebo effect. So people are spending $300 a week on this stuff, and it's not doing anything. They think it is.
Yeah.
So it's worthless, and it can make you really, really sick.
That's what, people look for the easy way out, but it's really easy. I shouldn't say it's really easy, but the safest way is to put the spoon down.
Yes.
Do a push-up away from the table.
Yeah. Yep.
Don't take the plate with you. There's no requirements carry with the plate.
Right. Don't eat in front of the TV. Yeah.
Yeah, don't have snacks on the couch. If it's snacks, maybe some Ghost Rehydration code. I don't have one, but
if only.
So, yeah. But did you see the little chart I put up?
I did.
Of the side effects, and I can't wait to see when they come out more with the Retta, because that's the one that I have the most interest in. The Retatrutide.
I mean, I've heard a little bit about it. I do think, none of this really has much research to back it up at this point.
Right.
So, like you were saying, let it run its first course and then try it out when it's Gen 2, Gen 3, maybe. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think that these, whether you go with the semaglutide or if you go with the tirzepatide, I don't think it's a bad thing if it's used properly. It's not a one and done. So you use that and then magically you keep taking it and you're going to stay that size. That's not how it works. People aren't using it to aid them in a lifestyle change.
Yeah, and you can out-eat it. That's the other thing. What they hope for, at least what I think they hope for, is as you lose the weight, because you're eating less, your stomach shrinks a little bit. But if you get the food noise just in your head, even though if you haven't dealt with the issues why you eat, you can stretch your stomach out in a hurry. There's a whole lot of gastric bypass people that stretch a lot tinier stomachs back out into great big bellies.
Yeah. Or it's, similar to everybody thinking even doing a diet like keto is a one and done. It's not. People do that. They get, all of a sudden these incredible results, but they don't learn anything from it. They don't learn how to control their portion sizes. So then they stop doing keto, and it's not, all of a sudden I have carbs in my body, so I gained 50 pounds. That's not what that is. They still haven't learned to control their eating habits yet.
Yeah, they definitely have to. That's what I mean. There's one company, I can't think of the health company now, but when you get the prescription for these things, they make you do counseling as well. So they go hand in hand.
As they should.
And, yep. And my doctor actually recommended to me, if I hadn't already done the nutrition for the diabetes, to go to, they have nutrition classes for these. But a lot of people off, and my friend, I'm going to put her on blast, Susie, if she's watching, didn't listen to me, and I, because it was when Ozempic was first coming out, and they were getting all the malnutrition people coming in with the bone density loss and everything like that. Yeah. So I warned her, who got a phone call 2 months later saying she was in the hospital because of malnutrition.
Yep.
So
yeah, it's
I
a
can tell you
real thing. Yeah.
I mean, I can tell you from my experience, it's like, I have no appetite. Yeah. So it would be real easy to pick the wrong thing because it sounds good in the moment and then be too full to eat anything else. So it's like, you still have to mentally go, okay, I'm going to eat my protein first. And then if I got a little room, I'll do this.
Yeah. Kind of, you can still do all the things that go along with, taking a semaglutide, eat the correct food, but you can still do kind of like an 80-20, right? Eat right 80% of the time, and 20% you can still have a little treat, And that kind of goes, having that kind of mentality, you're going to have more long-term results and success with just the lifestyle change in general. You don't have to eat like, an Olympian, bodybuilder to have a certain physique. No, just don't eat like a jerk 80% of the time, and then 20% of the time be like, oh yeah, I eat clean. It's not a thing.
Exactly. Garden Girl, tracking and measuring food was my first lesson. See, this is somebody who did it right. Made me face what I was truly putting in my body. Still track everything 3 years later. Once you can make it a habit, and even I started logging again because they on the videos they say, recommend how you feel because of where you inject makes a difference, and what you're eating and how you feel from that, because of the fact that it can cause gallbladder issues. But not for me. I don't have it anymore because of that. But after a while, you will get to the point where a pretty good if you're 5 or 6 ounces of chicken.
Yep.
Things like that. But if you truly have a problem with weight, then it's good to get into the habit of tracking. If you forget a day, it's not the end of the world. Just get back on track. And
you don't need to starve yourself for the next 3 days to make up for it.
Yeah,
it's really unnecessary.
And when people have a cheat day, you need to keep in mind it should be more like a cheat meal or two, because you can undo that calorie deficit so quickly with a cheat day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could put away a large pizza. Before this stuff, a large pizza pretty darn easy, which would just undo the whole week. So,
right. But at the same time, just knowing that, hey, I ate this way, I'm going to pay for it. But at the end of the day, just know that it's not the end all be all. You don't need to be like, oh, well, I screwed up, so screw it. I don't need to do anything. I'm just not going to go to the gym anymore. I'm not going to try anymore. Like, what's the point? Like, you don't have to do that. You get into that mentality and you're going to get back into like the yo-yo dieting phase, and you don't need to.
No, it's a very slippery slope.
Mm-hmm.
We'll put that up there. Yeah, and if you want to expedite results, should we say, learn to work out.
Yeah.
That's one way to burn a few extra calories. So, because what I do notice, and what other videos I've watched, is towards the end of the week, that medication starts wearing off. You do start to get the food noises ringing in your head a little bit. So it gets a little, then you actually have to think about, okay, I'm not going to do that, because otherwise, there are people who undo that calorie deficit because of the end of the week, the medication is wearing off. Because the half-life is 5 days.
Oh, okay.
So after 5 days, half the medication's gone, and excuse me, I do my shots on Saturday. So like right now, it's like, I'm a little hungrier probably than I'm going to be, because of the fact that I know it. So, but I'm not going to pick out because I'm hungry.
Right.
So you just have to recognize it, and you got to use a little willpower. Now, if I decide to go up in dose, that would probably go away, but I want to hang on to the minimum as long as I can.
Yeah.
Because I don't have any side effects right now. So why go up and risk?
Why chance it? Yeah.
No point in doing that.
I mean, and you think about it, it's helping you at least 5 days out of the week, and I think with other people, it's nice that it helps them throughout the week, but then hopefully being used as a tool, it helps them to learn like, hey, okay, so now it's the weekend. Might feel a little hungrier, but we're not going to undo what we've done this week.
Yeah, and you could even use it kind of to your advantage, because if you go out and say, okay, I'm a little hungry, so you know what, I'll have a little extra steak or a little extra chicken tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I know, and maybe we'll deep dive this at some point, but what a lot of people don't realize is the body, even with calories in, calories out, there is nutrition partitioning too.
Yes.
So if you spill over on protein, it's really not as bad as spilling over on fat or spilling over on carbs.
Oh, yeah.
So if you can make that chicken taste extra good for whatever, pound the protein before you pound the cheesecake.
Even though we know the other is so good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to deal with your own demons when you use these things too. I know I will eat for taste. So if I get a taste, that's one thing that has been beneficial, because if I don't have the food for about 3 days, cravings are gone and it's no big deal.
Yeah.
But if I take a bite of cheesecake, as long as there's cheesecake still there, I'm going to eat it till there's no more cheesecake in existence. Just the way I am.
I think that's, for a lot of people, food is a comfort thing as well. So I think more people, if they had to admit it to themselves, they're a lot like you in that sense. They all have their one food where they would sit there and just keep eating it till it was completely gone.
Oh yeah, I'll eat till I got Sara Lee coming out my nose. I mean, it's not pretty when I get a hold of the cheesecake.
Right.
That's just the way it is.
Yeah. And I mean, like I said, I think that's okay. When you're taking these things, you're trying to get some help with making a lifestyle change. Willpower is not an easy thing to come by, especially these days. When you're scrolling through social media and you see this person looks like this and this person looks like that, and oh, they eat this, but this person eats this. You're constantly inundated with so much information, most of which is not even true. But you're trying to do your best, use this as a tool, but then you have other people saying, oh no, this is the magic pill. You don't need anything else. This is a magic pill. Just take this. It's fine.
Yeah. People saying, like, sabotage that progress.
Yes. Yep. It's easy to do with social media out there, unfortunately.
So as we kind of bring it up, is it worth it if you use it right? And if you're lucky enough you don't get the side effects, are you willing to deal with being nauseous and the longer you're on it, the more that's supposed to go away.
Yeah.
From what I heard, you can ride the first month out, then that decreases. And again, it depends on where you inject.
Yeah.
People had a lot better luck because there's 3 places to inject, which is your tricep, 2 inches from your belly button, and then in your hip. And the people had the most side effects from injecting it in the tricep.
Yep. I know a lot of people that do it in the stomach because they find the best results with that.
Yep. And that was where I injected the last 2 times, and I've had my appetite's been crushed, but no side effects whatsoever.
Yeah.
And for some reason, people, when they inject the thigh, will get sides but no appetite crush, which is kind of weird. So it's
that's interesting. I wonder why.
When they say rotate, I'll just rotate each side of my belly button. I mean,
there you go. I think for me, as far as is it worth it or not, a lot of people go by that saying 21 days to make something a habit. If you're doing this for 21 days and you have not yet changed your eating habit, you're still grabbing the crap food, you haven't signed up for a gym membership, or you're not working out at home, or at least trying, I'm not camp. I'm going to stay on the GLP-1. I don't think if after 21 days you aren't doing something yourself to help this lifestyle change, it's a big no for me. Stay away from it. It's not worth it.
And for people who look at Mel and I and think, well, you guys are fairly fit, you don't know what it's like. Mel and I have both gone from the deep end of the pool into.
I've gone
we have
from
both
220 all the way down to 110. So, and everything in between. And I did
so
stupid stuff too.
We do know what it feels like to be hungry.
Yes. Yep.
So don't think that
feel like you want a magic pill. Like, I wish there was something that could take it all away and make me thin and make me look like all of my friends, but it's not worth it. It's not worth it. I wasn't trying to actually lose weight a healthy way. I was doing it the wrong way. You know, it's hard. Nothing. I said it to a kid at the gym the other day. He's like, he's a tinier kid, but you know, he's trying to move some weight and he's excited about being at the gym. And he's like, man, does it ever get easier? I'm like, not really, but you also fall in love with lifting.
Yeah.
So you want to improve, you want to be better, and you learn willpower and so much about yourself just going through the process of it naturally, even without anything to help you along the way. So that's why I think in 21 days, you haven't made the effort. You're doing this. You haven't made the effort to go to the gym or work out. Why are you taking it?
I tend to agree.
Yeah.
You know, you can't totally rely on it because you're going to pay for it one way or another. You know, I'm supposed to reach a temporary weight. Once I'm on that, depending on how my type 2 is, if that's gone, then we're off it. And then the whole goal is to maintain that weight.
Exactly.
This is not the intended easy way out for me. So
nope.
I'm with Mel. If you use it, it's a tool, folks. It's not a magic pill.
Yep.
All right. Can you hang around backstage for just a second?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Talk to you in a minute. All right, folks. Like she said, you need to help yourself if you're going to use these things. Do it with caution. Do your due diligence. Do your research. And with that, because tonight was the first, but we will be back next week. Hopefully, Mel and Holly will join me. I'm sure we can come up with something good. Who knows? Maybe the three of us can make this a weekly thing, or at least a bi-weekly thing. The show will be weekly. We'll see how often they want to join me. They'll probably get sick of me, but anyway, thanks for hanging out with me tonight. I appreciate it. It's Friday night. There's lots of stuff you could be doing. I appreciate you spending your time with me. Please send prayers to Grizzly. Please send prayers to Justin Decker. And with that, from coast to coast around the world, you guys have a fantastic evening.